Justinus Soni Justin Fashanu, /Fay? New ? February 19, 1961, May 2, 1998, was an English footballer who played for a variety of clubs between 1978 and 1997. He was known by his early clubs to be gay, and came out to the press later in his career, becoming the first professional footballer to be openly gay. 6. He was also the first black footballer to command a £1 million transfer fee, with his transfer from Norwich City to Nottingham Forest in 1981, but had little success as a player afterwards, although he continued to play at senior level until 1994. After moving to the United States, in 1998 he was questioned by police when a 17-year-old boy accused him of sexual assault. He was charged, 7/8, and an arrest warrant for him was issued in Howard County, Maryland on April 3, 1998, but he had already left his flat. 7. According to his suicide note, fearing he would not get a fair trial because of his homosexuality. 8. He fled to England. 8, where he killed himself in London in May 1998. 7/8, his suicide note stated that the sex was consensual. 7/8, in 2020, Fashanu was inducted into the National Football Museum Hall of Fame. 9. Fashanu was the son of a Nigerian barrister living in the UK and a Guyanese nurse named Pearl. 10. When his parents split up, he and his brother John were sent to a Barnardo's home. When he was 6, he and John were fostered by Alf and Betty Jackson and were brought up in Shropshire, Norfolk. Fashanu excelled at boxing as a youth, and was rumored at one time to be pursuing a professional boxing career instead of his footballing career. Fashanu began his career as an apprentice with Norwich City, turning professional towards the end of December 1978. He made his league debut on January 13, 1979, against West Bromwich Albion, and settled into the Norwich side, scoring regularly and occasionally spectacularly. In 1980, he won the BBC Goal of the Season award, for a spectacular goal against Liverpool. He managed a total of 103 senior appearances for Norwich, scoring 40 goals. While at the club he was also capped 6 times for England at under-21 level, although the anticipated call-up to the senior side ultimately never happened. 11. He scored 19 league goals in the 1980-81 season, but it wasn't enough to prevent the Canaries from being relegated. Fashanu's name had been linked with bigger clubs for some time, and his inevitable departure from Carrow Road came in August 1981 when he became Britain's first £1 million black footballer, when he signed for Nottingham Forest. His career stalled as his professional relationship with Brian Clough deteriorated. Clough, it would appear, was disturbed by the rumors of Fashanu's visits to gay nightclubs and bars. His goals and then confidence dried up as he failed to fit in with the playing and lifestyle demands of Clough, especially after Clough had discovered his homosexuality and barred him from training with the side. He scored just 3 goals in 32 league games for Forest in 1981-82. In his autobiography, Clough recounts a dressing down he gave Fashanu after hearing rumors that he was going to gay bars. "Where do you go if you want a loaf of bread?" I asked him. "A baker's, I suppose." "Where do you go if you want a leg of lamb?" "A butcher's." "So why do you keep going to that bloody Puffs Club?" 12. In August 1982, he was loaned to Southampton, scoring 3 goals in 9 appearances. 13. At the Dell, Fashanu settled in well and his promising form helped the Saints overcome the sudden departure of Kevin Keegan. Manager Laurie McMenemy would have liked to make the move permanent, but was prevented from doing so by lack of funds. 14. In December 1982, he was sold to Forest's local rivals Notts County for £150,000. He scored 20 times in 64 games for the Magpies, although he was unable to prevent them suffering back-to-back relegations, before moving to Brighton and Hove Albion in June 1985 for a fee of £115,000, where a knee injury soon afterwards looked to have finished his career. He went to the United States for surgery and began playing again, firstly with Los Angeles Heat and then to Canada with the Edmonton Brickmen and with the Hamilton Steelers. He returned to England in 1989 and tried to resurrect his playing career, joining Manchester City on October 23, 1989, and played twice in the First Division, but on 20th of November, barely a month after joining the club, he moved to West Ham United, later having a trial with Ipswich Town. He joined Leyton Orient in March 1990 and subsequently joined non-league Southall as player-coach before spending a summer back in North America with Toronto Blizzard. After leaving Toronto, He returned to England to sign for semi-pro Surrey team Leatherhead. In October 1990, he publicly came out as gay in an interview with the tabloid press, becoming the only prominent player in English football so far to do so. Although he claimed that he was generally well accepted by his fellow players, he freely admitted that they would often joke maliciously about his sexual orientation, and he also became the target of constant crowd abuse because of it. 15. He began a trial with Newcastle United on October 24, 1991, making one first-team appearance as a sub against Peterborough United. 16. Manager Oscar Delace refused to give him a permanent contract. He signed for Torquay United in the 3rd Division on November 23, 1991. He was the centre of fan and media attention while at Plainmoor. In particular, his relationship with Coronation Street actress Julie Goodyear featured in tabloid newspapers, but he still managed to impress on the pitch, playing 21 league games that season and scoring 10 goals, though he was unable to save Torquay from suffering relegation from the 3rd Division. When Ivan Golach was appointed the manager of Torquay in February 1992, Fashanu was given the role of assistant manager and maintained this position at the end of the season when Golach was replaced by new manager Paul Compton. On April 13, 1992, Fashanu received a £265 fine and a 28-day driving ban after being found guilty of speeding and failing to produce his driving license.